So I've been hearing a lot recently about Google Bard. It's the new tool that Google are working on, a new AI um, generation tool. And so I've used a number of different tools in the past. I've used the Chat GPT, obviously, many people have. I've used Close a Copy, I've used Jasper, I've used Content Bot, Writer, and a number of other ones. So I've used quite a few. And I must admit that more recently, because of things like Jasper Content Bot, etc., are all about producing documents or producing paragraphs. It's not really like an ask a question, get a response. It's more about kind of using that to help you with your content generation. So recently, I've looked more at ChatGPT because it's nice. You can ask it a question, get a response. You can check the content. Some of it's pretty good. You can even ask it to write code. So when I heard about Google Bard, I thought, I'd really be interested in seeing that. So I signed up and I've just got access a couple of days ago. And this is my first kind of initial look. So I want to give my first impression. So what I did was I asked both Google Bard and ChatGPT the same question. Explain dependency injection and give examples in Java. So I thought, give a good example of the same question in both. And this is Google Bard. This is kind of what it come back with. So it's given me some sort of text explaining what dependency injection is, and let's give me some examples in Java. So here's the is a class which the constructor car, and it dependency injects this engine, and then it uses that in the method, and then gives another example where there's actually a setter method. So you use a setter method to dependency inject the engine. And it makes pretty much sense. And then you've got an interface one there, but it makes pretty sense. It gives a reference, and that's it's reading the text. It kind of makes sense, and it gives you some good examples. But then if I swap over to ChatGPT, so ChatGPT, funny enough, gives me the same thing, a car with an engine. The one thing I noticed initially is that you actually have the full definition of the class, whereas on Bard it's just giving me kind of the constructor and the methods. So that's kind of nice in that it gives me the whole kind of the whole thing. Also, I just noticed with this I'd have to manually copy, and look at there, I'm missing. It's showing me the bottom bracket for the class, but it's not got the top bit. But in ChatGPT, you can actually click the copy code, which is quite nice because it saves you having to highlight it all, and it's also got all of it. And it's more or less the same examples again. The setter examples there as well. So they're getting the same and generating the same code examples, which makes sense. It's nice to see that kind of consistency, I suppose, in Google Bard. And then again, just can you give the reference of ways of doing it. But then I noticed that it's got this big class here, which what it's doing is giving me an interface engine, and it's actually creating two different types of engine. So we've got a gasoline and electric, and then it's showing that you would just inject the engine, and then you could actually create a gasoline or an electric. So it's kind of giving you an idea that you don't necessarily have to, it's showing me the example here that it's creating two different types of engine, and it's creating two cars. And you can see here it's injecting the electric in one and the gas in the other, and then obviously in the car class itself it doesn't matter because it depends on it will use the dependency that you pass in. So that's giving an even better good example, certainly more in-depth example than Bard. Talk about code now. I didn't want to talk about code, but that to me says that actually ChatGPT has given me more information than Bard. However, I would say that Google Bard, from my first impression, is looking good. It's not wrong in what it says. So I'm thinking, give it a little bit longer. Maybe they've got a few things they need to tweak on it, but I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. I think it's going to be a really good, useful tool. I think moving forward, it might be definitely one in my toolbox to help me with my kind of generation. And I know that looking at the initial front end, they are showing some really good kind of examples of how to use it to maybe help you write in books, etc. So we'll see how it goes. But my first initial impression is I'm thinking this is good. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it goes. So I know out there's probably many videos on Bard giving examples, which you might want to go and check out after this one. But my first impression is I'm going to go and look at them now and see what else I can do, and then maybe later on give you another video showing what I actually have been able to do with Google Bard, and maybe comparison to ChatGPT again. But anyway, I like it. I like it so far.